Welcome. Welcome to those of you who are on Facebook and those of you who are on Instagram. Hello, hello, hello. Can you all hear me? Welcome to another episode of Mindset Mondays. Today we are going to be talking about don't let your mind bully you. I'm super excited about this conversation. Hello, Noelle. I'm super excited about this conversation. Hey, Sabrina. Hey, Auntie Joyce. I am on both Instagram and Facebook, so I'm going to be going back and forth as usual. So for those of you who are new to this, thanks, no, then that's why I'm looking at both directions. I will give people probably a minute or so to come back on, but I am so excited about this topic because I actually had an exchange today through a post that I made, and someone was going back and forth with me, not in a bad way, but they were talking about how difficult it is for them to take control of their thoughts sometimes, and that it's just hard because our mind is so powerful. And that prompted me to talk about this today for our Mindset Mondays, because our minds, are extremely powerful. Our brain is a powerful tool. And the way that we think, the way that we go about interpreting the world, the way that we show up, is based on most of the time, oftentimes, the way that we think. And, I say to people all the time, it's very interesting how powerful our minds are. But if I was able to cut our brains out right now and we would still be able to function and still talk and think and look, and I ask you all to all hold your brains in your hands, none of us will be able to point to our minds. There's not like when you pick the brain up, there's different things on the brain that you can identify, and it's the cerebellum and, the hippocampus, all this stuff, but you can't touch the mind. And this thing that is not tangible, this thing that we can't even see, this thing that we can't even identify through the thing that it's operating from, has that much power over us. And I say all the time, if we think about it from that perspective, if we look at it from that way, why am I allowing something that I can't even hold in my hand to have that much power? Because actually, I'm the one controlling it. But because the way our brain works, and because the way we have automatic thoughts, and these things come to our minds, these thoughts come in our minds often, and because they're automatic and we didn't, quote unquote, put them there, for whatever reason, we feel like we don't have the power to remove them or replace the thought with something more positive. So I want you to think about that example that I gave, and think about how, if this thing is something that I can't even hold, why am I allowing it to take hold of me? Why am I allowing it to control me when in fact I'm controlling it? And that's a very powerful revelation, and I think we don't think of it that way. And that's why I want the topic to be about don't let our minds bully us, because we are bigger, we are more powerful than our minds, and we give our minds too much power over us. And one of the things I want to talk about is what it means to reclaim your power over your mind and not become victim of being a bully. So when you think about automatic thoughts, they automatically come in our heads. We wake up with thoughts. We go to bed with thoughts. We have thoughts all throughout the day. Some thoughts that we have, we can't even figure out where those thoughts came from. It's like, why am I even thinking that? Where did that come from? What was happening? What did I watch on TV? Why did I dream this thing? And so when the thoughts come, sometimes they are so damaging They are so painful. They are so gut-wrenching that it kind of sits us in this place that sometimes make us feel like we're debilitated. Makes us feel stuck, makes us feel like we can't move, makes us feel like we can't go on. We have thoughts of being hopeless, thoughts of being helpless. All this stuff comes up as a result of one automatic thought. But when that thought comes, we have to make sure that we don't allow it to take root and sit there and start to grow a garden. Now, I want to say it was the very first Mindset Monday. I talked about what it means for a limiting belief to develop. It starts with a negative thought, but it becomes a limiting belief because it sits there and it takes root, and we begin to water it and nurture it, and then it becomes this great big flower and sometimes even a tree, and it sits there, and now we can't move it. Now we can't pluck it up by the root because it's there and it's so heavy and it's grown full blown. So think about from that perspective. The way that we reclaim our power, hey Tiff, is by saying that I am not going to allow this thought, this thing to become more powerful and to take root and stay there and start to grow. But if I'm not confident in who I am, if I'm not confident in my ability to think things that are productive, to think things that are positive, I can't reclaim my power. You reclaim your power when you have the confidence and begin to believe in yourself and believe in your ability to dismantle the negative thoughts. So, your entire self-worth is often dependent on how confident you are. How you show up in life depends on how confident you are. So, because of the pandemic, so many of us have now been forced to go on social media and to show up for our businesses. You don't have time now to say you don't like social media. You don't have time to be afraid to advertise. You don't have time to be afraid to not fully be who you're supposed to be on camera, because this is now the way of the world. So as a result, if you're not confident, if you're someone that don't believe in your abilities, who don't think you look the part, who don't think you have the appropriate speech, who don't think that people will respect you or people will buy into what you have to say, then you won't show up. So I'm going somewhere with this. So now this lack of confidence that's stopping you from showing up is now creating these thoughts, creating these limiting beliefs that's telling you you're not good enough. That's reinforcing the fact that you can't and you shouldn't do this. And then now what happens? You sit back and you suffer, and then now your business fails. You reclaim your power by saying, even though I don't feel confident, even though I don't feel technologically savvy, even though I may not know how to work Instagram, Facebook, or whatever, I have to figure this out because my business is more important than what my thoughts are telling me. And that's when you start to reclaim your power. You want to know how? Because that's when you say, you know what? I got to eat. You know what? That's when I have to say, I got to do this. Yes, no, I got to do it anyway. Because it doesn't matter what my thoughts are telling me. I got to tell my thoughts that I can do this. You got to then retrain your brain. That's how you reclaim your power. You stop the thoughts and leave them there. Stop them in their tracks and replace them with things that serve you. The negative thoughts no longer serve you, especially when everything else around you depends on it. Yes, Tiff, absolutely. Your business is more important than your fear. And not just your business. Your life is more important than your fear. Your purpose is more important than your fear. Your ministry is more important than your fear. Your children is more important than your fear. Every area of your life that's requiring you to show up and is waiting on you to perform and be your best self is always more important than your fear. And if you've been in anybody's Baptist church or Church of God in Christ or whatever, Pentecostal church, you've heard the acronym FEAR. FEAR means false evidence appearing real. And that is what happens when you allow these negative thoughts and these limiting beliefs to take root and start to bully you. Everything that you are fearful of, there's often no evidence of except for the evidence that you've created. I don't care if you've seen someone else fail at doing the exact same thing. You are not them. Why can't you learn from their mistakes? Remember what I talked about, making the same mistakes over and over again, the cost of that. Why can't I learn from that? My friend Noelle is on here. Noelle is a fabulous cook. She may not want me to tell you that, but no, yes, she do. She told me she do cooking online. Fabulous cook. Now, if I want to have a dinner party and I'm trying to serve things I've never served before, I'm going to call no. Either for her to do it for me, and I'm going to pay her, or I'm going to say, can you teach me? Can we have a lesson online? Can you come over here with mask on? Something. I'm not going to just sit here and say, well, I want to have this dinner party, but since I can't cook, I won't have it. Doesn't make sense. The desire was put into you for a reason. The thought was there for a reason. So now fear creeps in, and now it causes you to be defeated before you even try it, because you allow those thoughts, you allow your mind, the big bully, to start to tell you this thing can't happen. I can't accomplish it. I don't care how small, I don't care how big. When you allow your mind and your thoughts to start to take you down this path of defeat and fear, you will lose every single time. The key, again, like I talked about early on, is recognizing that I am more powerful than the thought that was placed inside of me. Why? Because even though the brain puts automatic thoughts, I have the power to erase those thoughts, to stop those thoughts as fast as they come in. There's a technique that's called thought stopping. And with this thought stopping technique, what happens is you were messing up. With the thought stopping technique, this is what you do. The automatic thought comes in your head. You immediately take hold of that thought and you ask yourself, is this thought serving me or is this thought hurting me? If the thought is hurting you and not serving you, you immediately stop that thought and replace it with something positive. How we get stuck and how we get caught up with being overpowered by the negative thoughts and the limiting beliefs is because we don't believe that we can replace it with something that serves us. We also don't take the time to sit back and evaluate whether or not the thought is serving us. You know when something is hurting you because you realize it's not allowing you to move forward. It's causing you to stay stagnant and sometimes even move backwards. So if you have the thought in your mind of, what's something? I can't go to college because no one else in my family went to college. Immediately say, but I can be the first one. Immediately you can say, but I now have the resources that my family didn't have. Immediately you can say, but I have friends whose parents and family members went to college. I can ask this person's mom to help me with financial aid. You see how I changed that? I didn't allow the negative thought. I didn't give it time enough to sit there and take root and stop me from moving forward. So instead of saying, oh, I can't go to college, nobody else in my family went, I don't know what to do, I don't want everybody looking at me, I don't want nobody thinking I'm better, you immediately change that with something that serves you. Type and let me know if this is making sense, if this is helping you. Because I want you guys to understand that just as soon as the thought can come, the thought can soon also be removed. Hey, Miss Kathy. And so you want to get yourself in the position, again, where you are reclaiming your power by recognizing that I am more powerful than the thought that has been placed in me. Another way of reclaiming your power when it comes to your thoughts is recognizing and identifying, identifying that my thoughts are connected to my emotions. Now, for those of you who have been watching me, thanks to from Mindset Mondays, or just been knowing me and following me, you know I always say, I think, I feel, I do. I think, I feel, I do. And for those of you who don't know what that means, it means that I think a thought, and whether it's negative or positive, is going to now produce an emotion. That emotion is going to be negative or positive, and then I'm going to produce a behavior as a result of how I feel. So I think something first, I feel a certain way, and now I do something based on how I feel. And so if it's positive, I'm going to feel good, I'm going to do something good. If it's negative, I'm going to feel bad, I'm going to do something bad. It all connects. If you recognize and take hold that what you think also affects how you feel, then it'll help you to be a better manager of your thoughts, because we don't like to feel bad. So if I know once I start thinking something, I'm going to start feeling a certain kind of way. If I don't want to feel bad, I'm going to change that thought so that now I'm not also thinking bad, I'm not feeling well. You think about the word disease. And the word disease is made up into two things of dis and ease. And so when you have a disease, it's telling your body that I am at a dis-ease. I am not feeling well. My body is not at ease. There's something going on that's not at ease. Things are not settled. So you have disease. So when your mind is not right, when your mind feels diseased, when your mind feels like something is not right, when you can't get your thoughts together, when you feel flooded and overwhelmed with negative thoughts all the time, then physically, emotionally, you don't feel well. How many times have you been in a state, and you don't have to be in full-blown depression. You can just be in a place where you're just sad, where you're overwhelmed with all these negative thoughts, where you're overwhelmed with all this stuff that just makes you feel like nothing is going well, and your stomach starts to hurt. Or you get a headache. Or you just don't feel right. Your body feels sluggish, and now all of a sudden, all you want to do is sleep. And all this stuff just starts happening to you physically. A lot of times it's because of a thought. We can think ourselves into not feeling well. You can think yourself into a place that's not productive. And so you have to now say, okay, do I want to be the manager of my body? Or do I want all these outside forces to manage the body? What do I want to do? Who do I want to be? How do I want me to be managed? By the manager? Or about all this outside stuff that I keep allowing to take control over me? I don't care if the outside stuff is a thought. I don't care if it's a person. I don't care if it's a job. I don't care what it is. We have to learn how to be good managers over us. So you ask again, how do I reclaim my power? How do I get myself to a place where now I'm not allowing my mind to bully me by recognizing that I have to be the one to manage me, or I will not be managed well. If you are someone that owns a restaurant and you start this restaurant and you have no idea what you're doing, and you hire these people and they're looking for you to say, okay, today is grand opening day. What do we do? And you don't know, what's going to happen? It's going to fail. The first day is going to be a flop because you were designed to manage the people. It's the same thing with yourself. You are designed to manage you. All these thoughts in your head, you've heard me say it on this Mindset Mondays, I call them the little people. And there are all these people that come in your mind and they all want to be controlled. They all want to show up and control you for the day. So I don't care what it is. This thought come up, then this thought come up, then this thought, and you fighting the thoughts and they keep winning. You want to know why? Because we haven't learned what it takes to sit back and evaluate and become good managers over our thoughts. The thought does not have to stay there just because it was put there. That's key. If you don't take away anything else from tonight, that's what I want you to walk away from. Just because it was put there does not mean it has to stay. Irrational thoughts become irrational fears. Irrational thoughts become now limiting beliefs. Because remember what I said, a negative thought is one thing. It does not become a limiting belief until it takes root. Because belief is at the core. A belief becomes a part of who you are. So now I believe this thing, and that's why it's limiting, because it put limits on me. What I believe is either going to help me to soar and go higher, or limit me and maybe even take me back. That's important. We say all these words and they're buzzwords and we hear them out loud, but we don't always know what this stuff means. And so it becomes limiting because it puts limits on you. If I think I can't, I won't. But if I think I can, I will. And I will figure out how to get that thing done. I remember one day, I did an IG Live. This was last year in the summertime. I did an IG Live about this when I was done. I had gotten myself to the place where I was walking 3 to 5 miles at least 5 days a week. First of all, to help me get some air, because as a therapist and a coach, I am sitting in the house all day on the computer, talking to people and not getting outside. So to help me get outside, get some fresh air in the middle of COVID, and for health reasons, for exercise. And I have asthma to keep me going. Good evening. And for whatever reason this day, my legs were hurting so bad, y'all. And I was having a hard time. And I was like, I don't even think I'm going to get to 3 miles. I may have to get to a 1.5 miles. And I was struggling. And so I made that 1.5 miles and I said, okay, Kim, you got to keep going. I made it to the 3 miles. I said, okay, Kim, it's getting a little easier. You still hurting, but you can keep going. I talked myself all the way through that thing. And before I knew it, I was over the 5 mile mark. You want to know why? Because I made up in my mind that I wasn't going to allow the initial thought of, oh, because you hurting, you can't do it, to take over me. I decided to say, no, I'm going to push myself and keep going as far as I can. Absolutely, Tiff. Sometimes we got to talk ourselves through it. And that is what I'm meaning by reclaiming your power. The thought can come. But the thought don't have to stay. And the thought that you replace it with is how you gain your power. I could have easily given up. But I said, no, I'm going to keep going because I set these goals for myself. And then I took it a step further. And then I got on Instagram Live. and did a whole lesson about the power of pushing through. So now I took it a step further and made it a teachable moment. And so you have to get to the place where you are saying, my brain would no longer bully me because I'm the one that's in control. I'm the manager of my body. I'm the manager of my mind. Yes, I didn't let that subconscious mind rule me. I fired my brain, I hired my heart. I love that, absolutely. Because at that point, I had to say, okay, what do you want? Do you want this? And how bad do you want it? What are you going to do to make yourself get there? And so we have to say to ourselves, I don't want to stay in this place. Mind, I don't care what you say. Thoughts, I don't care what you say. Emotions, I don't care how you're trying to control me. I'm going to push past. I'm going to talk to myself. I'm going to speak life over myself. I'm going to encourage myself. Because that's what I have to do to keep pushing. I had my AirPods on, y'all. I put in my worship music. I was singing. I was praising. I was doing everything I can. And me and God pushed that thing all the way through. I didn't stop. You have to find what works for you. You have to find what's your motivator. That's the other problem that we have. Quit calling people that you know won't encourage you and will help you stay stuck. We love to call the wrong people, and then we hang up even more depressed or mad. They didn't help me. Did they help you the last 16 times you called them? So why you call them this time? You have to get you a circle of people that you know will help you, that will help push you, and not those people that will keep you stuck, especially those who don't know where they're going. Tiffany and I are talking all the time because we're helping each other reach our goals. We're giving each other what we need. We're pushing each other. Hey, Yvette, me and Yvette, we're saying, hey, because what are we doing? We're surrounding ourselves with like-minded people who are trying to go the same way we're going. And when I don't have it, they have it. And I ain't saying tangible thing. I'm talking about mindset. If my brain's not working that day, Tiffany's brain is. And vice versa. It's the same thing. So, again, how are we reclaiming our power? That's another one I'll add. We're surrounding ourselves with powerful people. You're surrounding yourself with people who can give you what you need, who can pour back into you just as well as you're pouring into them. Now, it may not be at the same capacity all the time, but that's okay. But at the end of the day, you know that they can provide you with something that you need, and you can do the same for them. Yes, proximity is powerful. You have to be able to love yourself enough that sometimes you got to cut people out of your life. Because the right person, and I mean right in the wrong way, can plant a seed in your mind that will take you so far backwards, you don't even realize how you got there until it's too late. And so if you want to reclaim your power over your mind, you got to get around some powerful people that know how to speak life into you and speak to your mind in a way that serves you and not harms you. Identify other people who have taken their power back. How do you do that? You start looking at what they're saying, observing, looking at what they're doing. I used to tell my clients all the time, the crazy people, and I don't like using that word, but this is good for example. As a therapist, I don't like that word. But I always say, the crazy people are the ones who don't talk to themselves. Why? Because nobody knows you better than you. Nobody can hear those thoughts that's talking real loud but you. So if you don't tell those thoughts to shut up, if you don't talk to yourself, then who will? Because you don't always let me in into what you're thinking. So how can I help shut down these harmful thoughts if I don't know they're there? But you do. We don't always let people in. Nobody knows you better than you, whether I am seeing you for therapy or whether I am seeing you for mindset or life coaching. I tell my clients all the time, You have to show up just like I can, because nobody knows you better than you. You are the expert of you. And if you don't let me in, I can't help you. Talk to yourself, y'all. I have stuff coming out of my mouth all the time. I be like, shut up. That is so stupid. I literally say that. I was like, devil, you getting on my nerves today. Go somewhere. And y'all, it's funny, but at the same time, it works. Because the minute you speak, the thought goes away because it can't stay. It goes away immediately because now your voice is louder than the voice of the thoughts. You got to become louder. You got to exert your power over these thoughts and remind them, I'm the manager over me, not you. Something happens when we start to feel powerful. We start to think before we react. We start to reframe our language. We start to put ourselves in positions where we're winning. We start talking to certain kind of people. We start dismissing certain kind of things that are said. Because now we feel powerful. Now we feel confident. Now we show up for ourselves in a way that we didn't before. I remember me when we first got into this pandemic, and I was like, oh, shoot, I got to get on Instagram and start talking, and then people start calling me to do Facebook lives and Instagram lives talking about mental health in the pandemic, and I'm like, oh. And sometimes God will give me something to say, and I'm like, oh, wait to go in there and say it, and I'll look in the mirror and be like, oh, but my hair ain't really right today. Oh, I don't know, I look a mess. I ain't put no makeup on, and I would stop myself, worried about how I was looking, and I would allow my mind to bully me. And then because of that, now I'm disobedient because God's giving me something and I'm stopping myself from showing up because I allow my mind to bully me. Because that word that I had was greater than the fact that I ain't had no lipstick. Was greater than the fact that I had on the sweatshirt. Was greater than the fact that my hair was natural and curls and twist and not in a flat iron. Who cares? Because if you're confident and you really speaking something that's worth listening to, nobody cares what you have on. You can have on a robe, flip-flops, rollers in your head. If what you saying is good enough and powerful enough, no one cares what you have on. It's how you show up. Your words have power, not your clothes. Now, I'm not saying clothes don't matter. You go to a boardroom, you show up. But this is your boardroom. Again, who's the manager? You. Who's controlling the narrative? You are. No one else. And so when you show up in the way you're supposed to, and you remind yourself of your purpose, you remind yourself of your power, you push all that other stuff aside, and you show up in the way you're supposed to, and lives will be changed. And guess who else's life will be changed? Yours at the same time. Because as I'm always speaking to you all, I'm speaking to myself too. I can always be reminded of times for me when I wasn't showing up. I say all the time, experience is the best teacher. Oftentimes in my therapy practice, especially when it comes to anxiety, people be like, oh my God, you're like the anxiety whisperer. You want to know why? Because I used to have anxiety so bad, I didn't know how I was going to show up. And for years, nobody knew. I got family members on here on Instagram, and everybody think Kim's so smart. Kim got together. Kim the therapist, and the therapist used to be falling apart. Nobody knew. So yes, I'm an expert in something that I experienced and suffered through and then conquered. That's why I call myself the mindset strategist and can help you show up confidently in areas in your life because I did it for myself. So I have a strategy that's not even proven clinically, but also proven personally because this is what helps. And this is how I've helped other people. Well, who are you? What's your purpose? What's your worth? And then what's stopping you from walking in that purpose? Why aren't you showing up? How many times have you allowed your mind to bully you from not being your best self? It's time to start living. It's time to start living a life of purpose on purpose. It's time to start showing up in ways you've never shown up before. Why? Because you're going to reclaim your power and stop allowing your mind to bully you. I think that's all I got, y'all. I ain't have anything written down. I'm just kind of talking. I had my book I was going to go off of, but you got this, y'all. We have this. We are more powerful than we think we are. Say it to yourself. Say it every day. I am powerful. I can do this. I am more than a conqueror. Greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. If you're not spiritual, come up with some more affirmations. I can do this. I am a winner. I will win. I will not be defeated. As a matter of fact, I am undefeated. I am a champion. I am the manager of my mind. My mind doesn't manage me. I bully my mind. It don't bully me. I make it do what I want it to do. It no longer has control over me. Start doing it. Start practicing stopping the thoughts. Even take a step back and reevaluate your thoughts. Why am I thinking this? Who did I just speak to? What did I just watch on TV? What did I read? Why am I feeling like this? Think about what's been dropped in your spirit to make you even be at dis-ease. That's important. Be mindful of what you take in before you go to bed. Do deep breathing before you go to sleep and release the stuff of your day. Meditate, pray, read an inspirational book, take a shower, take a bath, drink some tea. Don't just go to bed with all the thoughts of your day. That's how you wake up restless and feel like you didn't really sleep at all. You guys are welcome. For those of you saying thank you on both streams. Do it. That's all I got. You guys got any questions or any other thing you want to ask me or any other comment before I go? But I think that's it. For those of you who do not know and who have not signed up for my mindset workshop, it is this Saturday. It is virtual. It is called Up Level Your Mindset. I am teaching you tools on how to take your life to the next level, giving you key mindset strategies, helping you find clarity, purpose. You're welcome, Britt, so you can live a life of purpose on purpose. You can sign up. The link is in my bio. You're welcome. No, you are so welcome. The link is in my bio for on Instagram, and for those of you in the Facebook group, I posted it in the group to sign up for the workshop. It is this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And it may not go the whole time. I want to leave a lot of that portion at the end for question and answer, but it is a virtual workshop. It is $47 to sign up. There is a $97 VIP version, and the $97 actually gets you a coaching session with me. I think my IG kind of went out. The $97 one, the VIP, actually also gets you a one-on-one coaching session with me to give you some one-on-one tips. Let everybody know about it. I still have some tickets available, and I'm super excited for Saturday and what God is going to do in the virtual workshop. Again, the link is in my bio. Next week is the 5th Monday of March, and it is our last Mindset Monday for March Mindset. That was my take on March Madness. Some people have been asking me not to stop. They want me to continue to always do Mindset Monday. I may continue if you guys want it. Just keep letting me know. And if so, then I can keep it going. It won't have to just be for the month of March. But I had this whole idea of March Mindset, so that's why I was doing it for March. But I can keep it going with no problems. Thank you guys for showing up. Have a good evening and enjoy the rest of your week. And I hope to see you Saturday at the Up Level Your Mindset workshop. God bless you guys. Good night. Love you all.